Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. How was your rest of your meetings?
It was good. It was really interesting. Met a lot
Yeah,
of interesting people,
just one second.
and I'm just getting to know a little bit more about the retail side of things, and it was just interesting to see the different lines of business that people had to support um, the grocery sector, I should say. It was very interesting.
So, remind me again if you had any particular grocery specific thing, or you were just. How did you end up at the conference?
So the way I ended up with at the conference is that I have been investigating. Really, I started with the CPG sector, and kind of through networking, somebody told me about this conference and suggested that I attend, and so I signed up to attend, and that was really it.
Got it.
So,
Okay. So nothing to do with groceries then.
no, it was just a learning. It was a learning experience for me. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to do a quick demo today and show
okay.
you the new system that we've developed and what it will. Maybe you can tell us what you think it will mean for CPG, since
Okay.
you are, obviously thinking about consumable and packaged goods, consumables and packaged goods. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Just one second. Okay. So when we talk about CPG, we are actually broadly talking about, in particular, direct to consumer CPG. Okay. And because the future is CPG, I mean, is DTC, direct to consumer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tech enabled direct to consumer, internet, whatever the heck that means, right? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. I want to start with a quick example of what we consider a really good DTC brand, which is not in the it's not in the grocery industry or anything, but it's in the whatever beauty, wellness, food, home, lifestyle, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's started by this lady, Gwyneth Paltrow. You probably know this brand. It's been around for a while, 10, 12 years, and it's worth about $3-4 billion. And the reason is it's this huge, community-driven kind of content-led, experiential retail. You can see there's glasses and oils and whatnot right in the middle, as you go through the pages. And same thing, as they kind of try to create this feeling of community as people come back for their, writers and ask Jean and Megan and whatnot. And they, do this whole read plus shop ethos, which has products everywhere as they browse, $68 candles, for example. Right?
Yep.
So, that's how they do it. It's got a pretty big P&L, right? So the whole supply chain for this product, all these products, as well as the marketing costs and the editorial. It's almost like a magazine they're running here. It's like a Vogue magazine of sorts, as you can see. So let me now show you a different way of building these types of networks. And we call them networks because, the internet is full of networks, internetwork. So all these social media networks or business networks, delivery networks, retail networks, media networks, news networks, payment networks, everything is a network. And that's kind of how the world is. It is a bunch of networks. And that's why the internet is so scalable, because it's just all the people connected, not only directly to each other, but really not connected directly to each other at all, but really connected through networks that are all really the same on the same platform. So they're theoretically connected. Everyone's theoretically connected to each other, but they're really just connected to different networks on the same internet.
Right.
So it's one big internet, and wherever you connect, you're on the internet, but you're on different networks. So if you look at how the internet has come about so far, it's this idea of different networks. So that's why first of all, I call this a network. It's a network of, as I said, delivery, supply chain, so many things, marketers, So now let's take a look at another network that's launched, which is a early network that we've launched, owned and operated. So this is in the cannabis industry because we're here, and it's a very hairy, regulated, complicated space. Okay, really complicated, and in fact, federally, all that. So Weed is a B2B2C network.
Okay.
It's a B2B2C social media market network. All the participants of this industry, whether you are let me go to this. So this is, as you can see, first of all, laid out like a very much beautiful magazine, like information first, business information, be it or legal information or, social equity programs or whatever the different things are, of course, lifestyle. And but if you go to join us, you'll see it caters to all the different sides of the market. It's a global membership market. It contains all the different types of people. You could be a brand, you could be a retailer in the space, you could be a distributor, you could be, of course, I'll skip over a co-seller. I'll tell you what that is in a minute, but you could be a media partner. For example, you could be a High Times or Ganjapreneur or many, many magazines and top, media properties in the space. You could be a media partner. You could be, of course, an investor in any one of these things or another thing related to the business. So all of these people are coming to this platform because it is a one place where everyone connects for free, no charge, anywhere. And they get all this great information, which is provided not by us, but it's a network. So the content comes from, the people. It comes from the top, experts and so many different things. It comes from agencies. It comes from, so like a social network.
Right.
And we are able to curate the best and make it look and feel like this. Okay. The same way, the shop, the CBD section, which is full of, CBD stuff, not THC, is here. We're just, these people are playing with some new stuff. But now here you can see these are also not they're not sold by us. These are, again, we're a marketplace in a way. Again, a market network, because we don't actually necessarily only connect to stores like what a marketplace does, but we connect to other marketplaces also.
Okay.
So we connect to all the markets and shops and stores and whatever else. So we're a market network, and we just pull everything together in one place, allowing you to find and filter and choose and, all kinds of stuff wherever you are, even because if it could be they're coming from stores, physical stores around us, like San Mateo or something, or you could go, certainly in the case of THC, which you cannot ship online yet, it has to come from a local store. It has to come from a dispensary. It has to come from a 3-tiered solution like that. So I have to say, you know what, I'm over here, whatever, and then it has to go through all 3 tiers. So in other words, we are a technology layer that connects all the different parts. Now, let me quickly also show you something really cool, which is where marketing kicks in. Pick a product here. So here's a product which has a traditional buy experience like Goop, we saw that. Now, here's where the price is, of course, controlled by the vendor. I'm going to zoom in a bit here. So you see where the buy button appears? You'll also start to see something else that's controlled by the vendor, which says new feature, zoom in, co-sell and earn up to $46. This is controlled by the same vendor that's selling this item for retail $130.
Right.
Okay. And it says, hey, join the co-seller network. And how do you join it and what do you do to earn this money? Now, you might think it's similar to an affiliate program, and it is. Let me unzoom. The difference between us and an affiliate program is where the magic comes in. Okay, so just a quick lesson on the internet. You probably know this because if you've been on the internet, online marketing and so on, you know that conversion rates are at 1%, which means broadly speaking, 1% of clicks are going to become purchases, are going to be purchases. And the rest of them are not purchases. They might be, browsing, not yet ready to buy, discovering, nudging, getting nudged along the journey, or they could be fake clicks, just outright fraud. So now 1% conversion is the norm. And when somebody tries to promote using an affiliate program, they're subject to the same laws. So that means even if they're very, very good and they get a lot of clicks, 99% of the time, they don't get paid.
Yeah.
Because they don't convert.
Right.
So it's a totally useless thing for, the affiliate people to do that game. So that's the reason why you will not, it doesn't happen. Everyone's trying to be upfront, they take upfront fees. And the second reason is even though I am able to get the click to happen, I cannot actually know what happened eventually, whether I was part of a chain that eventually converted. I could have been the second to the previous, person who eventually made that individual make the purchase happen.
Right.
Right. So we maybe should have split the $46. I mean, 46 is a good amount of money, right? It's not like some $5 or $2 or some $1. It's like $20 each if you make that happen. That's legit, right? So this is the problem on the internet. And what is the big tech companies that I have helped enable over the years and sold companies to? What have those big tech companies done is that they hold the data that they hold. So businesses cannot track this information. Who are the people that are actually driving my buyer across the internet? Because I'm paying platforms and they don't want to tell me the 99 people who didn't buy.
Right.
They don't want to tell me that. They will only say, here's your 1%. Why don't you? I paid for the 99. You tell me why the whole 100, no? Why don't they tell us that? Right? So this is the problem. Okay. And we have solved that. In other words, we have solved multi-touch attribution on the internet. This is fundamental to how the internet functions. Okay. And this is a fintech layer that takes advantage of that attribution knowledge. It is all about information is power. Who knows more will win. So we are now able to pay this $46 directly to the individuals on the internet who made the sale happen. And what do they have to do to make that money? They just click on it and share on social media, just like they do normally. Now, why would this happen? Because they have logged in to Awake, which is our single sign-on global network of networks like Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Awake. You will be logged in because at least we make you money all day long. Right. While you do the same things that the other guys ask you to do. And you can choose to do that if you want. Now, how easy is it to become a part of this network? Let me log out. Okay. I'm going to go back to that product. So I come in here and I'm looking at it and I say, oh, that's cool. So it asks me to log in. And here's again, we sit on top of not just as you see Shopify, WooCommerce, I'll show you all the products that are coming from there. We sit on top of that so we can bring the products in as you see in Weed. They're coming from everywhere. Like that, we also sit on top of the service providers of identities, which is Facebook, Google, everybody who asks you to log in. And so you can log in with Facebook or anyone you like. Here's Google login. So I'm going to click one click, the typical Google login that happens. And then boom, you're now a member of Weed as well as the member of Awake, which is a global network of networks that allows you to do this in all networks globally. Okay. Now we'll show you very quickly. I'll show you how the money flows. And this is the back end. Okay. The shop type back end. When you come in the first time, you are shown three, personas, if you will. Okay. Like Airbnb, co-seller is everybody is a co-seller now. You saw how easy it was to become a co-seller. Right. And now, in Airbnb, everyone's a traveler, where everyone's a co-seller. Some people are hosts, in the Airbnb world, and they have something to sell, usually a flat or something, a room in some house. And of course, here you could be anything, a yoga instructor selling online classes, or you could be obviously a store, online store, or a shop like a restaurant. It doesn't matter. In-game items, virtual currencies and whatnot you could be using. You could be selling digital art, you might have heard. So whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as it's a buy-sell transaction. Because not only do you usually you offer something to sell, but you need to promote. Right. So the promotion part is this whole global sales force that we enable. So you come in here as a vendor and you will get access to that global sales force. Of course, network, is a Goop or a Bead and many, many others that are going live now. So let's go in as a vendor. And this is where your CPG products and other things are the easiest ones to sell. Like, for example, these are all Adora Therapy is called. And it's a Shopify store at the moment. They're doing a business there. It's organic perfume made of essential oils and whatnot, clean beauty.
Right.
Okay, so they're doing their business. They do their. We let them. We don't touch it. We just connect using our system, totally outside their world. Okay, how do you do it?
Right.
You come into our system, and then you'll come in. There won't be any products initially, so you would go to products, and then nothing would be there. You would say add a product, and then here you would simply connect your Shopify store.
Yeah.
One
Perfect.
click.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's kept in live sync. We do it for all the other platforms also. So we keep the inventory and their location and everything else in live sync. We also add a pretty interesting PIM, product information management layer. So this is coming in from Shopify. It's very minimal stuff. Just a couple of the things is their sizes and stuff. But we add, this is ours, commission we'll talk about in a second, but we add a whole semantic layer for the omni-channel people in one place you can manage. So it doesn't matter, where the products are and all that. You can manage them properly with all the information. You can even put social media feeds and other things here, the official media that you would like the folks to use to promote. Now, once that's done, we'll go to something more interesting called the attribution. I talked about multi-touch attribution. So let's talk about attribution. So we call it network, commission. Right now we're calling it. We're going to likely change it to network. We're just going to call it network fee, networking fee, network fee. Because it's not really commission, we're just talking about the network fee.
Right.
Because it could be anything. It doesn't have to be money. So this is 30% by default because it's Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon. Everybody's basically defaulting at 30, but you could do 20, 10, you could do 40, 50, 60. So any number. We are seeing average 40. On the network, people are doing 50% because it's like wholesale pricing. Right. Somebody comes in and says, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll make, so my cost is $5. Happy for you to take wholesale 10. Retail is like $80, right? So there's distributors in the middle. So they're happy to give you like any number, right? Out of that $80, they think, sure. I mean, just like, because it's massive, increase for them. It's a 4X because they're going direct now.
Right.
Okay. So for them, they're more than happy to give the dollars.
Right.
Because we don't take it and, upfront, first of all, $0 upfront to use the system, no cost.
Okay.
It's totally free. Now, further, you can also do the multi-touch part. You can split the commission based on what happens. The most lower layer here, I'll go bottom up. The most lower here is the close, which is the person who actually closed the sale. And we're saying, look, we'll give you 40% of anything that's on the cart in terms of the commissions. Whatever commission there is, 40% for closing it, because not the whole amount, because normally this would be the whole amount. So you either get the whole amount or you get nothing.
Right.
Right now, no matter what happens, you get 40% if you close it. And I will tell you what it means to close within 2 hours. How's that? Okay. So we'll do live. Okay. This is live on the internet anywhere. As people come through, you get paid when this happens. Within 2 hours, they click your link and buy. Now you can also make the other amounts here. Let's be more lenient with these people here. See, it says quite a strict rule. So we'll say, look, 20% will come to you if you do this within, call it a week. Let's give them 1 week. Okay. And 30% further if you do it, let's say within 2 days. Okay. So we're basically setting up that funnel here. Okay. And the topmost awareness introduction, whatever you want to call it, of that, we can actually say, I will be happy to give the people who bring in buyers a very long tail of commissions, which is 10% of available commissions, say 3% or so every order for a very long time, call it 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So this all happens in real time, and I'll show you an order coming through. So like $100 order comes in, $70 goes to the vendor, of course. Let's see how the split occurs. I'm going to zoom in here a bit. So a bit more. So here's the stages, 1, 2, 3, 4. Introduction was Vaibhav, 14th August, many weeks and moons ago. And they were paid $2.85 because on Instagram, they promoted the product.
Right.
And then these other folks, Louis, Gloria, Timothy, on these other dates, even right up leading to the sale a day before as well. And they make all this money. This is real dollars, right? Actually happening in real time. They go sit in the wallet, like a PayPal wallet. I'll show you that in a second. Yep. So this is what we call multi-touch attribution. This has been missing on the internet for 30 years, and that's caused the rise of the big tech and this crazy economy that we have. So this number here, the referral earnings, is another magic number. So not only do these commissions happen, but you see, because of this transaction, Awake, which is shop type, makes some money also. Our business model is 5% post sale. So out of the $100 here, we made $5.
Okay.
And then other networks where the sale occurred, like Weed, for example, they might make $5 or whatever they decide. And then the remaining gets split based on that network's rules, like this. Okay. So basically, everyone's able to override each other's, incentives if they like, as long as they have a community or a network that wants to play the game that they're setting up.
Right.
Okay. Now, what is not shown here is the fact that, okay, a couple of things. First of all, in some cases, people will come directly to the network. Say, for example, Weed. They might be offering 35% out of the total 40. I mean, they might offer, let's say, if there's total 40 available, shop type keeps 5. They have 35 to play with. Let's say they keep 5 also, and they offer 30% to the network. And let's say in every single case, they're paying that 30%. But in some cases, they will not have to, because people will come directly to Weed and buy.
That's right.
Yeah. So in 20% of the time, let's say, they don't pay that wholesaler because they're direct sales. And in the other 80% of the time, they're always paying that, 30%. That 20% of that 30%, that's 6% extra, drops to the bottom line, which is another 5% plus 6% is now 11% that the network is keeping.
Okay.
Of every sale. Okay. And we keep 5. That's shop type. And we enable this other thing for every single person. Now, what's not shown here is how did Adora Therapy get introduced to the network?
Right.
So the answer there is, let's say that you were to be the person who introduced us to Laura. Laura is also not shown here. She is the person who owns Adora Therapy. Okay. So you introduced Laura into Awake. You therefore make this approximately 50 basis points on every single sale that goes through this relationship.
Okay.
So 50 basis points is like a payment fee. Like Stripe is charging you, $2 2%, let's say 2.5%. So this is that 0.5% that's going to every single person who's just naturally making introductions like a LinkedIn, right? Because who you know, right? It's all free to use, right? So we're creating now. Where does the money go? Money goes here in the wallet. It's a global multi-currency wallet that's integrated, right? So you're able to withdraw this money by just putting in your local, bank account or whatever. Like you want to take it on Stripe, you want to take it on PayPal, your entire history of all the money you made and how much is. So the whole period is set by the vendors based on returns and things like that. They can settle it once they're ready to settle, and this is only showing dollars. So you come in here. That's kind of the whole system. If you log in as a co-seller, you'll see that you can look for products anywhere in the world. You can start to sell anything you like. I'm over here in San Mateo, so okay. Why is it unavailable? I don't know. But let me go to products. And so here I could search for any and all of our vendors. This is a test system. So you'll see a lot of like junk stuff. But in other words, you'll be able to search. You can see how much like the high-end products, lower-end products, which currency. Like I could be sitting in India. Right. And I could be, so we are live with almost 9 countries. We will be live shortly, 9, 10 countries. Globally, we'll be soon hitting, because we are going, through partnership model as a holding company structure with partners. So they just spin up we hold majority, and we are, bringing in partners to launch different countries using this. It's a network of networks. Our technology is just pure. We don't touch the product. We don't touch the money. So we hardly touch the people. So it's pretty global. We'll be live in pretty much everywhere. So we're pretty much stealth. We're launching several networks. I mean, the world will not know what hit them, basically. This is a global, takeover of big tech. I mean, these people have to deliver value. You see, that value question is gone. So now here, what people do is they come in here. You could be in India, and you really know how to sell these beautiful games and things like that. And, you go ahead and share, it's like $90 on this thing. And you're sitting in India, and you're doing that and making money on global products, right? And you can, of course, share it on social media. You can also embed it, like an Amazon Associates program. Right. So global sort of end-to-end media market network. That's what we call it. B2B2C media market network.
So out of curiosity, do you have to issue 990s or anything to all of your co-sellers if they, I mean, how are you handling
They should
that?
be, it's a self-service model. We declare that, you have to be licensed to come in and do licensed activities. You must come in and make sure that you file your taxes and, we help you do everything. There's a ledger. We give you banking state, like a bank account. If you can do an export and you can do all that, we can connect you to, QuickBooks and things like that. But it's your responsibility because, that's something that every independent business owner anyway has to do. We just become a technology like Shopify, right? Shopify makes money for you as a business. You got to file taxes.
Right. Got it. Makes sense.
But yes, 1099 will be the way. And the global, Prop 22 thing that we got here in the US, in California, we are huge proponents of Prop 22, not because, they're treating badly and goodly and all these things, but we have the solution. The solution is you pay people properly. You take only 5%. Don't eat up everybody's lunch. Very simple.
Right.
Don't have to argue whether it's Prop 22 or 22 or 33. It makes no difference. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what difference does it make? Just pay the people properly.
Yeah.
It's just like, right? I mean, so the law has to be for practical purposes, not to bend it for your, other purposes. Right?
Right.
So that's simply what we are enabling with technology.
Yep. Makes sense.
So the uptake is rapid. Yeah, sorry, I'll stop talking now.
No, that's fine. It's fascinating. I read, I read some of your blog articles this morning, and it is, I really believe this is what needs to happen, because I, like many people, am concerned about the Amazon takeover of everything in the universe. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
I went this weekend to where I live close by. I think you guys might have it too. This Amazon 4-star stores. Have you seen these?
Yes.
There are two kinds. There's a quick kind also. There's multiple formats, but the 4-star store is massive. It's huge.
Is that the one over by Stanford? Is that the one?
There must be one there too, but I don't. Maybe there's not such a big one. But there's one on Burlingame Avenue, which is just here.
I haven't seen that one.
But anyway, you walk in there and it's like so nice, like an Apple store almost, but for everything. So, it's like, wow, this is like the future of bloody everything. They're going to just so what Walmart did to, regular mom and pop stores is going to happen now again to like the new mom and pop stores. It's just, and this time already they said 21% of the US economy is 4 companies. 21% of the GDP is 4 companies right now.
Oh boy.
And we just got started, right? The next 5 years or next year, Apple went from 1 trillion to 2.5 trillion in less than 5 years.
Yeah.
And they're just getting started. Like, where are we going without an Apple or something or the other?
Yeah.
Cars are coming. They have more money than like anybody. It's just like, so there has to be this change, and it's coming. People are happy to take it. Nobody says no. It's 99% conversion rate, right? We give people money. We don't ask for money.
Right.
Everyone gets a wallet for free.
Makes sense. So how can someone? Sorry, we're in front of that. How can someone like me help?
So if I understood right, you have a project management background, right? So
and finance,
and a finance, right? Those two things. We're a CFO's dream. You see, what are we basically doing? We're taking 40% of cash flows that are as it is moving on others' channel. We are moving it through us. Our GAAP accounting says 40% of everything that connects to us. Last year we connected to, we put on on Reed, for example, Canopy Growth, $600 million company. We're going to start driving their brands into the US this year from Canada. There's a big Canadian public company. So like Martha Stewart and so many brands. Right. Everything's going to come through us. We take on the backside through the B2B relationships, because they have to be remanufactured, relicensed, as well as on the sales side. So basically in effect, we're getting 30% from the brand. We're getting 10% from all the people in the middle each. And then we're getting to spend their money to buy media to help them grow the brand.
Right.
On a better way to buy media, because without us, you can't track what happens.
Right.
So you can spend media the old way, or you can spend media with us. It's cheaper to spend with us because we only charge you 10% media buying fee.
Right.
Okay. And everything else is transparent. In nowhere in hell you'll get a transparent agency who cannot even give you a report on how much ROI you got. They have no technology to do it, and it's never happened before because the attribution problem not solved. So essentially, we collapse the whole walled garden here.
Yeah.
Right. So how can you help? This is a CFO's, CFO approach. This is a cash flow game. Every single, we don't talk about enabling the brands and things. That's cool. Of course we do that, right? That's the Shopify game. That's cool. But we are Awake VC. Awake VC is a private equity holding company. This is a tech. This is not a tech play. It is a tech play. Everything is tech play. But we are a aggregator or a re-aggregator. We just buy companies, brands that are high growth cash flows, early, young, beautiful, totally on our ledger.
Yeah.
We see the more data before the CEO sees it. I mean, we are the network. We move money, we move the product, we move the talk about it. We're the network, marketing layer, right? There's only one network called Awake that connects everything.
Right.
So this is a private equity platform for us to buy and sell Staples. That's one of the companies I sold my company to, in 2-3 years ago. Our first big company I sold was to Staples. Before we were powering, Staples, Groupon, eBay. I mean, this is my fourth big AI fintech company. So I was just taking an example. Staples is going down the toilet. It was number 3 when they bought us, behind eBay and Amazon. That was in 2013. So in 8 years or even less, they're gone to nothing. They're going to die like, JCPenney and all these other things, Borders, Circuit City, Blockbuster. Why is it that this is happening? That big companies with money and assets and people and all that distribution, reach, blah, 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 brands are falling to simple tech startups. How is that possible, you see? And what's worse is, after we sell the company to them, which I did, they screwed up our technology and all what we did. That was a total mess. And then they went down the So it's like, so our goal now is that we simply buy Staples and other things like Staples because we know what to do with it.
Right.
We're a return on assets play. We don't start from zero.
Yep. I see
we simply take existing cash flows, and that's what private equity does. They just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the future of private equity. Buy side. We are the buy siders, not the sell side. We know who to buy and what to do with it. Fundamentally, the intelligence that we get, the knowledge is power, is how can I buy companies at the lowest possible price, which will give me the highest price, called finding alpha. Right? How do you find alpha without the data, without everything about everything on the internet? Only by creating the ultimate layer of software that connects everything to everything and creates a virtual layer on top of the internet, where we are the settlement layer, the clearinghouse of every piece of information that exchanges hands.
Yeah.
That's called the network of networks, the internet. So that's why nobody understands the internet like I understand it. Because I think in terms of internet, I'm not a single person. I am the network.
Right.
You see? Because we all are, but they don't understand that. We're all connected so deeply that we forget that we're actually connected because it's a taken for granted thing. But if you focus, then all you see is the fact that you're connected.
Right.
You can't get past that. And there is no individual left there at all.
Yeah.
You are only the network. There is no question of a node.
Right.
So it's been seen as false. Facebook thinks it's the greatest because it's the network. People think they have to get over Facebook, but there is no Facebook. All there are nodes, people. Right. So you see, all you have to do is wake up to the fact that you don't have to go after any network because there isn't any. And that you yourself are not a node, but you are the network.
Right.
right? And that's the end of it. You just wake up to what is real. The people are there. We all connect to each other and do money. That's it. Finish. No question of talking to big tech companies and talking about big guys. Nothing. Simply go to market, spring up the first 100, 200, 500 networks around the world. There's nothing to talk about. This is the biggest arbitrage opportunity that has existed. Why would I tell anybody? I'm simply going to launch all the networks.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry. My brain is like spinning a mile a minute as you're speaking, because it's it's challenging the current paradigms, which rightfully so. But
fundamentally, we want to create 100 million jobs within 2 to 3 years and demonstrate that abundance is not a concept. Once people realize that abundance is not a concept and that economics that's based on scarcity is a foolish zero-sum game that is illusory and doesn't have to happen that way.
Yeah.
It is a question of seeing clearly what is reality.
Right.
And not dreaming that you understand reality.
Right.
That's why it's called awake.
Yep. Makes sense.
And we have to just wake everyone up to that reality, that you're imagining something that's not true.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So how can you help? Which means we have to tell you got this, you understood it. So first of all, we have a simple filter, What is you saw the three things: co-seller, vendor, network operator.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have the awake VC type people. That's even more. So it goes more and more rarefied, People who don't get all this business and all these things, influence. They just want to be looking pretty on the beach or whatever they do these days. They can be a co-seller.
Right.
They have a following on Instagram. That's what you want to do. You want to go party.
That's my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? That's the co-seller.
Yep.
Or the media journalist now who wants to write about something and become an expert about something and wants to monetize their reach in other ways, not just being an influencer, but perhaps becoming an expert in something, a blogger or whatever, journalist, media person, right? Because now it leads to commerce. They have a revenue stream. Straight up.
And they have a revenue stream because they're one of the stages. Is that?
Absolutely. Automatically. Okay. They don't have to do anything.
Because they embed that. Okay. All right. I got it. I'm
they
following.
Embed it. They embed it. They come and work on our networks, whatever.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. They become, so they could be an agency now. They could be like, damn, I could get a bunch of my friends and create more content and get better at this. Or I could organize it. And now you could become a network. See, that's the leap you want people to make.
Right.
Otherwise, you might say, oh, cool, I'm a vendor. I can now sell here. I'm done. Okay, so I start selling and I continue doing my old stuff. Now, many vendors will be realizing that, you know what, I can start selling other people's stuff. I don't have to make it. Because right now making it, I make net percent, 5%, 10% with all the risk. But with other people, I'm making 35, 40% with no risk.
Yeah, right.
So immediately they'll start stocking other people's virtual products in their store. Ancillary products, adjacent products, everything. Because you're already selling your own stuff. Might as well sell everything else for more money than you're selling your own products for.
Right.
So what is a brand and what is a network and what is a conversation and what is collaboration and community and how content drives commerce is the game.
Yeah.
So people will go from either being a co-seller or a vendor into network, and everyone turns into a network. Everyone is a network. So we're talking about those that understand this very quickly, like you have, is suitable for more things. You can work with us. I mean, otherwise you can't. You just they can't compute, right? They're like, what are you talking about? Like it doesn't. People are stuck forever.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So we usually what we do is we just throw you into the deep end.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a bunch of people around the world who are doing stuff with Awake. Okay. And usually very senior folks like yourself who understand business and who have done 20, 30 years of stuff. And this is their second or third go around in something big that they want to do. Maybe their last. And it certainly is mine. This is my, I'm 40. but there are people who are 50, 60 who are now ready to say, this is going to be my, big last one. They have tremendous experience in real business across multiple verticals, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So they're building stuff with us. Okay. 40, 50 networks, like I mentioned. I want to introduce you to Jeff Dennis up in Toronto, who is currently a lawyer up in Paskin, one of Canada's. It is the largest law firm in Canada. He's the EIR over there. He's been there almost 10 years, and he's grown a pretty large practice. And he's been advising many companies, but with us, he's taken on a very active role as an EIR. He does many things, but with us, he's basically almost full time these days. I mean, it's like there's no other. I mean, he sees networks nowadays. He's telling me the other. It's like all I see are networks. I see networks. So, but I want you to talk to him. He's been working with us for about 8-9 months, and he will have a lot more to share about the opportunity. You should get yourself more familiarized with the idea. And if you go to the website and see the Vogue VC, some sort of there's a bunch of videos. Yeah. You should watch a couple of those. But yeah, and then I'll also, once you talk to Jeff, invite you to. We have a Tuesday morning. In fact, you're welcome to join tomorrow's every 6 a.m. I believe it is, even after the time change. I don't think we changed it. But it's a global, leadership call that we just quickly go through every week. You'll see people from like, Brazil and South America and like, South Africa, Nigeria. You'll see people from South Korea, India, UK. It's amazing. So they quickly give status and stuff. And we usually have guests, 1 or 2 sometimes. To say hi and get a sense of the crowd. So you're welcome to join that. It's short notice, so maybe if not tomorrow, then next week.
Okay.
And then once you start to talk to folks and see, I'm also happy to introduce you to Barry Perkins, who runs Weed in the UK. Here in the US, he's in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. He was an early employee at Oracle. So he bought a whole bunch of companies. Through them, he was like he grew with them quite a bit. So he did the PeopleSoft acquisition. He did like the Sun Microsystems acquisition. He did like all the major historical ones. Yeah. So he's cool. He's a cool guy. He's been working with us now for. He's one of the oldest awake, associate partners. As you'll meet a few. And he's building this network called Weed, which you saw, which is a cannabis. His interest is more on the the medicinal side and the healing. And there's a lot of like work that we're going to do now in Canada with the AI folks up there with a lot of cool clinical trials and other kinds of stuff. I think this is a big vertical, just that one alone. But we have many verticals that this thing enables. This thing enables the unraveling of existing society and the recreation of a new one. And it'll happen very fast. It'll happen in parallel, and it'll cause a lot of problems. And solutions will happen also along the way. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it just this conversation has made me want to just go and spend a little time brainstorming myself, because I have several thoughts sparking right now. But
yeah, that's what we hope happens. So that's kind of what we call, the beginning of the awakening, so to speak, right? And once you get it, you can't go back thinking about anything the old way.
Yeah. This is very, very intriguing.
It's a natural way, So that's how nature functions. So nature doesn't function in artificial ways, and all the constructs that we have, by definition, are artificial because they're constructs, right? So when you don't have any constructs, then what happens is not people perceive it as chaos, but when you have the real chaos, which has true independent everything, you actually get true harmony.
Yeah.
Because there is no artificial constructs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that is particularly intriguing to me is that one of my interests is just access to people that are disadvantaged, and what you're showing me is if someone can get a hold of a cell phone, they have a way of generating income.
Correct. That's exactly right.
And that's.
In fact, I will show you some of the pilots that we just did in India, and I'll show you next time we speak, perhaps. But there is a network in India that I know the founder of. Her name's And in fact, the fact that, it just occurred to me. I somehow don't see the world the same way, but I've had the fortune of running into a lot of accomplished women entrepreneurs and executives and senior folks. Okay. So I happen to know this one lady out in India called Sairi Chahal. She runs this company called SheRose.com. SheRose like heroes with an S.
Yep.
And so it's 25 million odd women growing at almost 1 million a month, mostly in India, but also now other parts. And they've been around for 6 years and had a hard time monetizing, because even though it's big, it's like, you're up against, even if you're a media company, like they are, as in, they're a platform, social media, that sort of thing, you're up against Facebook and Google. I mean, as a business, for the most part, if I'm advertising, I might as well go to Facebook, right? I mean, it's cheaper, faster, better, whatever. If I have to get the same thing, which is the same attention, ad units, whatever from your ad. And for sure, Facebook's is better, right? So there's no competition there. So they're struggling. So with us, they just launched a few months back, 3 months ago, the pilot program of their entrepreneurial program. Basically, they're calling it SheCo, SheO's Commerce, or SheCo, like She Company. And these women turn into entrepreneurs. On the phone, they're able to share and curate from our entire catalog of products and stuff, and they have their own skin. So they've created a very nice looking skin for their ladies and whatnot. And they're training them, and they have this program. And the top ladies leaderboards from like 3 weeks ago or something came out, and it was like 2, 4, 5, 10 people are making, out of the 200-300 people that did the pilot, the leaderboards, the top, are making a good $300-$400 a month. In India, that's astonishing for me to see happen in such a quick early stage thing. So as they scale this is literally the job creation, economic development, whatever engine for. This is a leapfrog. You don't need wireline. You went wireless, right? The people around the world, they didn't really they went from no cash to like mobile payments in most of the world. They didn't go through our credit card system. It's a leapfrog. This is the same thing. You don't need to set up a store anymore.
Right.
No capital investment.
Yep. That's
right. So this is fundamentally what the internet had promised, which is lifting everyone's boat, but only if you don't hijack it for yourself.
Right.
You have to act as an internetwork, not as a network.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm usually way more talkative than this, but this is an indication that you've really got the gears spinning in my brain.
No, I'm happy to hear that. I'm really glad. And you'll see that there's just absolutely massive amounts of entrepreneurial opportunity here. You could join at any of the Awake levels or verticals. You could, depending on what you want to do, there's just so many opportunities. So I will make the intros, today and right now, actually, before I jump off the call, so I don't forget. And then you should talk to Jeff, okay?
Okay.
And just schedule some time. He'll kind of. Didn't mean to exit my stupid email, but let me open it again and quickly send. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think you could help us with so many things. I mean, we need help with just the dozens of things going on. So yeah, in fact, you should meet both Jeff and Prumi. Dr. Prumi Bar, she came on recently. She's come on board. She's quickly becoming. She joined us as what I call the Chief Learning Officer. I'm going to introduce you to both of them, because we're a training organization and a learning organization, as you might imagine. You have to unlearn everything for other people have done.
Oh yeah.
So
in fact, that was one of my questions along the way. Is it seems like there's there was an inherent strategy that you were applying even when you were applying the percentages, and I would imagine that most people have to be taught that at that level.
I'm surprised by how much you have to teach people. It's astonishing, to be honest with you. It's really, really sad that we're in this state of affairs.
Yeah.
That people don't know so little basic things. I mean, about basic stuff. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
That's, I moved here to this country. I honestly thought that this is the, bastion of a lot of things, but it needs help big time. I'm a citizen, so I'm stuck. I'm doing this now. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I do some volunteer work with an organization that helps small businesses, and it's amazing how many people are running businesses off of shoe boxes of receipts, trying to figure out why they don't have money at the end of the month. So
extraordinary. So I'm just going to quickly send you this. Please meet Joyce. She's going to, do many things with us. So through me, of course. Okay. Please do speak to her about what you're doing. Also, Jeff. Please do so also. Looking forward to keep chatting. So yeah, this is kind of a entrepreneurial-ish thing.
Yeah.
Because we are having to do that at the way at which this thing is unfolding. So it depends on where you come in and what you're looking for and what your your personal needs are, your greater aspirations. Depending on all those things and your interest, we'll find something, and I'm sure you'll find something.
Yeah, great. Appreciate
and
that.
you learn a lot more. There's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more happening. So I couldn't tell you everything.
This is fascinating. So appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
I look forward to more. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
And we'll be in touch. You've got the email, so ball's in your court. You can go ahead and schedule those calls.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Cheers. We'll talk soon. Yeah, looking forward to it. Bye.
Okay, bye.